Hello and welcome to my thoughts on Convocation of the Creatures. If you haven't read it yet, you can click here and I'll read it for you. Alright, everyone ready? Let's go. So, Princesses Twilight, Cadence, and Celestia are headed to some big diplomatic conference. I guess Luna wasn't invited. Feels bad. And joining them is Raven. No, not that Raven, this Raven. She does paperwork. That's all we need to know. So what's cool about this Convocation of the Creatures they're going to is that there's a whole bunch of creatures there. Hence the name. Apparently nearly every kind. So with a swift goodbye from Captain Kibitz, our group heads inside. And as soon as we get inside, there they are. A ton of creatures we've met before. There's our boys. We got Thorax, we got Aspen, we got Rutherford, we got Buffalo Guy, Thunderhose, that's his name. We got Ember, we got that spider that took Applejack's hats. All of our favorite characters. Poor changelings, looks like no one wants them here. I'm guessing this is their first time coming. I mean, to be fair, I can't see the dragons and griffins attending something like this either, but here they are. I'm actually just gonna say this right now. Griffins, very disappointed in their betrayal. Betrayal? Portrayal. God. I'm disappointed in their portrayal. They're way too not total dicks, you know? It's weird. Like, I mean, all of them. Except for Goldstone. Thank you, Goldstone, for being true to character. So then Twilight meets up with Ember. No, stop. And Ember is kind of having a little freak out, which is totally not cool. Come on, Ember, you're better than this. But here we go. Someone written true to character. Good old Prince Rutherford. And now we move to Thorax. And he's talking to some griffin. Apparently he's like the griffin leader? I don't know when they found the time to get one of those. So my goal was to make him sound like a total asshole. I think I succeeded. But turns out he's actually not a jerk. Alright, we got more references. We got Buffalo Bull, we got Seabreeze, we've got Cow Guy, we got Aspen, we got Jim. He's banned. There's just a ton of casual conversation going on. And it's like kinda weird cause like almost none of it's actually plot relevant. So we get introduced to Lord Gestal, and Prince Rutherford talks about the cultural sharing, and then everything else is just a nice conversation. I'm not trying to say it's bad, but it is confusing, since we are now at the halfway point. And it's not until we actually cross it that we actually meet our main cast. But finally, we're back to Raven. Joining her is Yak Extraordinaire, Horitz. Peeking in from the shadows, Changeling Superfan, Urtica. Kinda dropped the ball on the Changeling naming scheme, but whatever. I mean, to be fair, the Changeling naming scheme is kind of weird anyway. They're all vaguely bug references, except for Pharynx. Do insects have pharynx? Yes, I just looked it up. Arthropods do indeed have pharynx. But Urtica, on the other hand, as far as I can tell, that's a genus of plant. Why am I still on this? No one cares. Dragon, Blacktip, he's kind of a jerk. Great. And Griffin, who's not. They look at documents all day. That's why they're here, that's their only purpose. And that's the setup for the plot. But fast forward to the next day where Twilight's back to doing Convocation things. And then Twilight's all like, "Hey Raven, wanna come do stuff with me?" And then Raven's like, "No, my job is only paperwork. That's the only thing that actually matters here." But then later Twilight goes back to the library and's all like, "Hey guys, wanna do stuff with me?" And they're all like, "Hell yeah!" And then Raven also goes with, and everyone has a great time, the end. JK, apparently the Griffins own Equestria. So Raven kind of, gives up way too quickly on this. She's just kind of like, well, the paperwork says the land's the Griffins. Guess it's the Griffins. And now the plot has been fully revealed. Let me just clarify this, if it wasn't clear. I don't have a problem with the actual Convocation as a concept or a setting. I just think this is the dumbest plot that could have been added with it. But also, it might not even be the concept of the plot, it could just be the absolute horrendous execution. It feels super rushed, and there's no time for character development or anything. Could you tell the story is supposed to be about Raven learning about the magic of friendship? Cause I didn't realize that until Blacktip threw her through a window, and then slipped the F word. But anyway, time for part 2. Raven blabs to the Griffins, they want the land back. Celestia's like, alright, I'll give you the land back. Twilight, find anything to stop this from happening. You got it, princess. And then Raven talks about all her boring, important paperwork, blah blah blah. Somehow, she talks for so long, but none of it actually advances her character or the plot. I mean, yeah, Raven, I know, you do the paperwork, I got that much. So they get to the library and Twilight's all like, everyone, go through your documents! Except you, Utica, because lol, changelings! I'm glad Blacktip's all like, why the hell should I help? Very dragon, much respect. So, this is probably the funniest part. Utica's all like, hey, did you guys see this yak signature? Yeah. Horace, did you check the yak documents from that time? Yeah. Did you check the actual documents from that time? No. Crisis solved. Glenda calls it misfiled, but I mean, is it really that misfiled? But then Goldstone pops up and tries to destroy it. But thanks to the power of friendship, they safely deliver the document to Princess Celestia. But thing is, they didn't actually start developing anyone's relationships until right there at the end when they're escaping Goldstone. I wish they touched on it more. It kind of comes out of nowhere. Literally, one moment Blacktip has to be bribed into helping, and the next moment they're exchanging phone numbers. When did this happen? And especially Raven, every now and then the others kind of interact with each other, but she really only interacts with Twilight. When did she learn this lesson about friendship? When did she even make friends? I didn't see it. It just kind of feels like they spent so much time trying to show off how cool the Convocation was, but then forgot to actually utilize it. We just kind of montaged through it. But don't worry, apparently it really affected Raven. Too bad we couldn't see it. I think I've talked about all my bigger problems, but I got some little problems too. Like 1. What color actually is Blacktip's nose? One might say it's obviously black. It's his namesake. But no, right here it's green. Is this one time it's green an error? Or is it just shaded black every other time? And you might say, that's way too obtuse to even be considered correct. But no, look at Twilight's hair half the time. It's shaded black instead of blue. 2. Utica doesn't even transform once. Is she even a real changeling at this point? 3. And this is probably the biggest of the little problems. Who the hell is talking in this panel? I have dissected it several times. I cannot tell who it's supposed to be. It looks like one is a unicorn and one is a non-pony. There are 4 horned horses from Equestria here. Cadence, Celestia, Twilight, and Raven. There's Raven. There's Twilight. There's Celestia. This could be Cadence? But why would Cadence be going to Celestia Zeppelin? She came to the Convocation in her own ride. Their silhouettes don't help at all, the dialogue doesn't help at all, and the setting doesn't help at all. I'm very confused. So at the end of the day, I just kind of decided, well, if Utica is continuing off their conversation, it obviously must be Thorax. So I just made it Thorax and Cadence. But low-key, that looks nothing like Thorax, so it highly doubt it is Thorax. If you have any better ideas, please let me know. Is that everything I want to talk about? So overall, this story did a pretty good job at being entertaining, even if the plot and the characters were underdeveloped. I do like the characters that we already know. Prince Rutherford's pretty funny. Yak Smash, that's great. Griffins weren't griffiny enough. Ember wasn't dragony enough. I literally have no opinions on Queen Novo. I haven't seen the movie. At the beginning, Twilight says she's so excited for sharing resources and negotiating, but at the end, she's like, this isn't about trade deals or negotiations. That's not important. That was funny. I forgot to bring that up. And yeah, there was plenty of funny moments. That wasn't in short supply. And to be fair, at the end of the day, I had fun with it. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until next time.